Hello soulmate, welcome back to another class. Today we're going to make this flat collar you're seeing turning on your screen. So we're going to sew this collar, and I'm going to show you how to sew how to draft the sleeves also. I've already drawn out my pattern. This is a 1/4 pattern, and to start I'm going to draw a line from the center front to the armhole. This line is going to be important, so just make sure you draw this also on your pattern paper. Next, we're going to determine the length of the project we are working with. So from the waistline down, I'm going to mark 19 centimeters. This is not a conventional measurement. This is determined by height and preferred length of the individual making the project. Since our jacket is going to have buttons and buttonholes, we are going to add 2 centimeters allowance from hemline to the armhole measurement we drew that I told you was going to be important to this project. So just make sure you draw and then square across from hemline to the armhole to form a straight line. So now we have our extra for buttons and buttonholes. So at that neckline outwards, we are going to mark 2 centimeters or 0.7 inches. So just push out from the shoulder neckline, and then we are going to square from the armhole to the neckline outwards. And make sure from the neckline outwards you're using your back neck measurement. So now we're going to step back 6 to 7 centimeters from that point. We are building our collar at this point. You see how easy it is? And then you just join it to the 2 centimeters you started from at the neckline. So after building our collar, we're going to come back here to try to build our lapel. So from that shoulder, I am marking 5 centimeters from shoulder upwards. And at that center front neckline, I mark 2 centimeters. And then I will connect both lines as so. Now we are trying to construct a lapel. So from that angle of the center front, like so, touching the last line that connects the armhole to the neck, I hope you know what I mean. We're going to mark 6 centimeters. And make sure you slant as shown. So when you connect this point like this, you have finished making your lapel. This is what your lapel is called. And then to finish the neckline, from the end of your lapel, which is the beginning of the center front, you're going to mark inwards 3.5 centimeters. I hope I'm making sense. So that's what I mean. You just place your tape and mark 3.5 centimeters at that point. That is where our collar is going to start, and that's where our lapel is going to end. So you place your tape at an angle and mark the 3 centimeters. From that point, we connect it to the neckline. As easy as that. If we were only going to learn how to make collar, this would have been the end of this project. But since we're going to do other things, so for the buttonhole, I'm going to show you how to place your buttonhole measurement. So 1 centimeters behind the armhole measurement, I marked the first buttonhole. From the first buttonhole down, I marked 9 centimeters. I'm going to use that 9 centimeters to further mark other buttonholes until I am satisfied with the number of buttons I want to place on this jacket. So this is done. Don't forget to add Okay, so where I am marking now is where your back neck measurement. You remember that I mentioned this while I was creating the neck height, the collar height. So don't forget to mark this measurement, to measure this measurement and keep it before you create your collar. So when we are talking about the neck, the back neck measurement, that is what it is. Now that we finished making the body, we're going to move on to the sleeve. So the first thing we're going to mark here is going to be your armhole measurement divided by 3. So whatever that gives you, you place it on that point. So the next we are going to place at that horizontal line is going to be my top arm measurement divided by 2. So I'm going to spread it evenly on that line. So this is what I just did at that point. When I am done, I am going to create my crown height, which is connecting those lines together to form a triangle. To determine the length of my sleeves, I'm going to mark 4 centimeters. This is what I prefer for this project. It is not conventional. You're going to do what works for you depending on how long you want your sleeve to be. So I just mark it as so. And to give me a shape, I'm going to reduce 1 centimeter from each of the legs of the sleeves, like so. Now we're going to shape the crown height. So to shape the crown height, I need to divide that top head into 4 into 4 equal parts. So at that point where I am marking there, I'm going to go inwards 1.5 centimeters. And where I am marking there, I'm going to go outwards 1.8 centimeters. So the down is 1.5, the top there is 1.8. 1.5 goes inside, 1.8 goes outside, don't forget. So we are going to go to the back part of the sleeves. So this is the front and this is the back. So at that down part, we are going to mark 0.5. And at this head here, we're going to mark 1.5. So we go inside here 0.5, we go out there 1.5. I hope I am making sense. Now we are going to shape this head following where we mark inside to where we mark outside. So just follow as shown, and when you have done, you're finished making your sleeves. So what I'm going to use to sew this is going to be calico. So I'm going to be working with calico. So these are the patterns that I have here already. Make sure to add 1 centimeter to all of your patterns, or add your allowance as much as you want. Then for this light paper you see me carry here, this is what I call the interface. At that point of that interface, you're going to mark 3 centimeters. At the down, you mark 8 centimeters. Join the line together, and this is what you have. Don't forget to mark this. This is very important. If you don't have this, then your jacket will not come out nicely, because you need to have the same fabric in the inside and the same fabric on the back of your lapel. It is very important. So we are going to continue later, since this is already a long project. Just at the back, to look at what I did here, make sure you just got your lapel following this, and then please see you in the next. Thank you.